The base information for this design came from the AutoCAD environment. And as we've mentioned a number of times, if you are bringing AutoCAD drawings, which we hope you bring in by taking the DWG, converting to DXF, and then placing it in gCADPlus, that process often causes difficulty. This is a design for a subdivision, and if we zoom in on what appears to be a car parking space, can you see here's this must have been quite possibly a 3D symbol in an AutoCAD add-on program, and there's an image of a vehicle, and that image is taking up a lot of space and won't print very well either, by the way. And you could use one of the images that comes from the gCADPlus library. Notice also some fairly sloppy drafting here. Here's a line indicating the side of a parking bay. Its length is 5942, so that in itself is odd, but its angle is 89. If we click here, that length is 3448. The next one is 2640, 2640, and it's consistent there. But if I move across over here and work through, that one's length is 2641, and we have another 2641, 41, 41, and in the middle here 135, and another 35, and another 38. So the width of those car parking spaces is varying. Here's the symbol from our library, which is a car park space with a stop. So let's just move. In fact, what we'll do is rotate it like so, and then we'll try and place it here. So we can pop it there, and we could copy it temporarily and just want to see how our symbol will go. Can you see by the time we get over here, we've got very unequal spacing. So the AutoCAD drawing has got some serious problems with it and can bring a lot of baggage that increases the file size. And I spotted another instance of that same car symbol, and we'll do the same again and cut it out of the drawing, and later we can put a symbol of our own in there. So it's another warning to be careful about the information you bring from the AutoCAD environment. Well, here's a further instance of that problem where you get base information from AutoCAD. This, what I would take to be an arc, in fact is not an arc. It's a whole series of very short line segments. That's going to, again, massively increase the file size. Well, if file size was important to you, you could simply turn off the plants layer and then grab all of the short line segments. And I've got quite a lot of them here. And you can see that the short line segments are actually almost nonsensical. They go around halfway through a path, and we could come in here and we could join those. And now instead of hundreds of little short line segments, we've got one polyline, and we could do some curve fitting to it. You can still edit a polyline, nothing to stop you picking up that point there and then moving it to that endpoint, so the endpoint is coincident. Oh, that's interesting too. See what's happened through here. This is yet another short line segment, so we want to pick up the endpoint there and snap it to that particular endpoint. Now that's going to get very tedious in this example, but if reducing file size was important, that's what you could do. Well, I'll turn on the layer now, which has the planting system on it, and the plants are now back on. But in doing that, I noticed that there are layers with nothing on them, one called profile edges and then section cut edges. And that suggests to me very strongly that this has come from an AutoCAD application that works in 3D. And what's probably happened here is the AutoCAD file has been flattened down so that everything has an elevation of 0. That can be very awkward. If you've got a line representing an edge, say, of a roof, and you flatten it down, you don't always get the sort of result that you want. I noticed in here, for the sake of argument, a line running through there and apparently appearing in the middle of a gap. I suspect that that line there needs to be moved. Whoops, I'll select it again and move from there, and I suspect it probably sits in that position. And the reason that I say that is that if I come down through here, there is no line through there. There's one little short line through here. So I presume this is the entrance to a vehicle and some parking bays there, and quite what this line represents, I'm not sure. So I'm trying to alert you, if you are given a base plan, just be ever so careful that you don't take the base plan as gospel.